Today we're doing multitasking. First thing we're doing is we're pulling a vacuum on the system. The main reason to pull the vacuum on the system is not for the normal reasons. It's actually to see if it's holding back here, because once the body goes on, I don't have access to any of this stuff. It's too buried. In fact, I barely have access now with it not buried. So I'm pulling vacuum, and you can see we're holding steady on both of these. It's been probably about a half an hour and it's holding steady. Got everything connected here. I only pulled vacuum for like 5 minutes, if even, and just turned it off. I'll probably pull more vacuum later. I'm still not sure if this one fitting here is going to fit. So the idea of what I'm doing is just pulling vacuum to make sure that there's nothing leaking. If there's nothing leaking, great, but I'm not going to charge the system because I'd be throwing away Freon if that fitting doesn't work. And given that I do all this myself, if I take it to a place, then I'll let them deal with it. But so the idea is just pull the vacuum, make sure there's no leaks, and then stop there, move on, and finish on the rest of the car. So what I'm doing now is, now that I've implemented these little things here, and I verified that the body actually comes out like this and it doesn't go back down. So there's nothing covering that. And I don't want to make that blue. I don't want to make it gray. I don't want it to stick out. So what I'm going to do is make it black. To do that, it's aluminum, so I got to do like an epoxy or an etching primer. So I'm going to do that right now. And then my neighbor Bob has some one-stage black, which that's fine with me because your feet are going to be kicking over here, which is really the body and not this. This is buried underneath. But over here, this sticks out. Very rare that you're going to probably hit it, but it might wear with like a set of keys in someone's pocket or something if it's high enough to even hit that. This is a really low car and the seat's really low, so it might be possible. So I'm just going to do black, but I'm going to try to do it with something that's not going to fall off and scratched super easy. And originally I was thinking, well, maybe I could epoxy paint and then I could use a rattle can and then I could put 2K over it. But we're thinking that the catalyst would just destroy the paint, the rattle can paint. And the rattle can paint's not going to hold up to any kind of abuse. So that's why we're going this route. So I'm going to at least get this primered and possibly even painted tonight. And I'm going to primer the whole thing, and then I'm only going to paint the outside. And then from there, since it is a catalyst type product, it should be ready to put right back on the car in, a day. So that's kind of the concept of what I'm going for. And in the meantime, this is holding, so we'll come back to that and see how that's going. And then we're doing pretty good. So my primed parts came out pretty good. However, I will say while I was spraying it, my air pressure was too much, and of course these are aluminum, so they're like blowing in the in the breeze of the gun. And I'm just really disappointed in myself that there's so much time in between the time I pull this gun out, and it doesn't matter how much notes I take and stuff, I just don't get acclimated to adjusting my gun. And so, and what I'm trying to do is I'm like, well, I don't want to waste product and time and stuff like that. But what ends up happening is I do waste product because I'm not shooting it correctly. So what I'm going to do today is use some lacquer thinner and, hey, big dent in my bowl. Today I'm going to use some lacquer thinner and I'm going to pop it in here and I'm going to get this thing dialed in perfectly. And then I'm going to switch over and put some paint in and I'm going to spray those parts. And hopefully we will kind of, figure out the mystery of why I have problems. Now, those two little parts, I just need some black, and my neighbor had some of this high-tech stuff. And I don't know too much about this stuff. It's actually pretty inexpensive. However, I've seen him shoot this on motorcycles and in the engine bay of his truck, like a metallic silver. And it looks phenomenal, and it's like this one's a two-stage product. But some of the stuff he does is a one-stage product, and it looks amazing. So I'm just going to use like very tiny little amount because I got little products. And that's why I really want to dial in that gun to make sure it's working exactly the way I need to do this stuff. So hopefully this will be a really fruitful day because I do need to shoot and get those parts finished today so I can finish this carpet tomorrow and then go pick up the body. So that's the plan because the body goes on top of all this. So this all has to be done. So and I don't have access to it once the body's on. And then we also held a vacuum on this and everything seemed to be working okay. I did get my parts in to finalize the heating stuff. So I'm going to do that and pressurize the heating. Make sure I have no leaks back here for that. And I think we're good. So it's really important that I get this stuff painted and ready to go. So that's what I am focusing on. Man, this sprayed so much better. You can see I barely have overspray. Got everything dialed in on that box. And I'm really happy with what I was able to do. Now, of course, the first coat always looks horrible. So hopefully this will work out well. I just want it to be black. That's my requirement. And the clear coat to be bulletproof. Those are my two requirements because most of this is covered except for this one little flange coming out. So, and I just want to kind of match the carpet and go away basically. So I think we're doing good on that. All right, so we have our panel ready to go on. Came out pretty nice and black, matched the carpet, so it doesn't have blue coming out from the blue body. I think that would be weird. I'm ready to put in these carpet pieces and then put those in. Now, little trick is I actually put electrical tape on the tip of this and then popped a hole in it. Therefore, when the gun actually bangs off the paint, it doesn't like scratch the paint up. So, you know, even though that paint has hardener in it, it should be 100% fine. Figured anything I could do to, you know, not scrape it up. Even though that's going to be covered, but still spent multiple hours painting these little parts. I don't want to sit there and, you know, scratch the hell out of it in 1 second. So I put that on there. So all I need to do is look for a way to not get glue on the rest of the carpet. And so I'm trying to figure out if a piece of cardboard, could have swore I had a roll of paper that I could roll out, but I'm not finding that anywhere. So I'm going to look for some cardboard and stick that in there and then kind of spray this up. And then I need to get this all glued on and then get that part on right away to keep the form and keep that in place. So, and we're leaving this back end open until tomorrow or whenever we get the doors in. And so this is where it gets a little iffy, but we're going to do what we could do here. All right, so we got our pieces in. Looks really good. Hopefully there's no ear interference issues. Got my hood opener switch, whatever you call it, lever. Got my lever in. And so once I get the body on the car, I could get my latch over here and then get this trimmed to where it needs to be. So, looking good, man. Looking good. One thing I got to do is this thing's just getting beat up. I don't know if it's because it's expecting something thicker to be attached to, or it's just too much, you know, leverage, I guess, against it, which is just mangling it up. So I think I'm going to go a hair bigger. This is the same size. So I think I'm going to go a hair bigger just so, you know, or something that's sturdier or something. So that's a little bit more nicer coming through. Of course, that's going to be under the carpet, but we'll see. I went to one of these cool hardware stores we have here that has literally like 5 stores in one and has everything you could ever imagine. And one grommet that was like an inch big was like 14 bucks. And I was like, shouldn't that be like $1.39? So I was a little freaked out by that. But they do have them, and that's the thing about this store is they actually have stuff that you could use instead of trying to order it online and not sure if it's going to fit or not. So, yeah, I'm going to look into that possibly today. And I got to do a pressure test on my heater system today. I have the kit over there. I got the hoses installed. So all I care about is that this fits under my side panel, and I'm hoping that's the case. So yeah, we are getting super close. Once I get the body on, then I'm going to start doing seat belts and stuff like that, because again, that panel's not glued in, and it's going to be hard to get over the bolts and stuff. Also, there's going to be some clearance issues trying to get this in with the belt being there, so I'm going to just leave that alone for now. So that's crazy. Crazy, but we'll see. Feeling good about it. Well, we're ready to take this one for a spin and see if we could capture a body on it. Reel it in. So we got stuff ready to go. Seat's just temporarily in there. I turned the car around just to make sure it started. Didn't want to get everything going early tomorrow morning and then be like, what's wrong? So everything's going well, and that's the only part we're going to be picking up tomorrow is the body, and then I'm going to pick up the dash, and the dash will allow me to rewire everything. So, wow, what a momentous step. I love how the blue looks. Looks great. So I didn't have the car on for too long, but I did do a pressure test, didn't see any leaks, and I did have the car on for a little bit here. I've noticed with this car, I'll get a little bit of a leak after the car's been hot and it's starting to cool down, and then it builds some pressure up. So nothing leaking so far. We'll see after tomorrow, since I'll be running the car a little bit more probably to get it up and on the trailer. So that's about it for today. But it's going to be a... I wish we could get the doors and everything on, but they're just not ready yet. So I got, including me, 4 people going down there, plus we got 5 with Greg. And really want to make sure that we're getting this thing on there and not accidentally, scraping the firewall and stuff. You could see that when you're putting the body on, it will do some damage. So just trying to make sure that it's well taken care of and spotted by so many people. So we'll see how it goes. And then while we're there, I got to remember not to forget to pull out the side panel and see if this fits or not. So that will be step number 2. And then from there, I started making some extra tables just so I have some area, like I don't have areas to even lay my tools out or anything because everything is just taken up with clutter. So I made some extra tables, and once we get this car back, main thing I'll be working on is the trunk area, getting that all solidified, not only with battery disconnect, where stuff mounts, carpet, the battery mount. I'm putting in a new grommet. So there's a lot of stuff I need to do there. License plate, reverse lights, all that stuff. There's a whole slew of stuff that goes on after the fact. Then we're going to verify some wiring. I was thinking about it after the fact, and I was like, man, because one of my wireless remotes is not connected to this thing. And it was like 2 years ago, and it's not now. And so is it time not being connected that does it? Is it a battery change that does it? I don't remember. It's been so long, I don't remember. And then I started thinking about it. I'm like, well, if this thing's buried inside my center console, do I really want to dig into my center console to get a remote control reassigned to my wireless unit? I might want that under the dash somewhere where it's easy to hit a little, paper clip or something to push up into that button. So we're going to see. We're going to assess that, and we're going to assess that once the body's on the car. I wish I was doing it when it's nice and open right now, but we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. So I Yeah, that might be a really good idea. So that's the only questionable thing that I really have going on there. And, if not, go ahead and assign all the remotes and stuff it in there and call it a day. We'll see. But you got to remember that my car is shaved doors. There's no door. There's no door handles. So the wireless remotes have to work for the car to work. And not that I don't have some safety backups, but I'm saying it's all about the wireless. And so making sure that that is fully accessible and ready to go. And, if that unit burns out, I just buy another unit and pop it in there. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. And then once the body's on, I'm also going to evaluate my, now that the carpet's in and everything, I need to evaluate my center console, see if it needs to be shaved down or anything. And then literally it's off to the upholstery shop. Need to get that. I think I'm going to do the back waterfall, inside the hardtop, and the side door panels. And I got to account for that distance that the padding and the leather adds to that center console too. So I got to give myself a little bit of room. All right. Well, we'll see how it goes tomorrow and go from there.